Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we are talking about the 2022. I don't know why I had 2022, but that's okay. 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre that just came out this month on Netflix. But before we get into all of that, Tawny, what are you drinking?
Well, I got some non-alcoholic beer. I was inspired by your drinks that you've been bringing. Nice. So I got some, what is it? Athletic Brewing Company. And it's called, have you tried this?
I have it.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I have it. I think I had one and I liked it. Sorry, I totally took the thunder away from you.
No, you're okay.
I just thought, oh shit, I haven't. Maybe I should go grab one.
You should. They're so good, actually. I was really surprised. And I didn't realize until I got home that they're crafted to remove gluten. So there's they can't say that it's gluten-free or anything, but it definitely hasn't been messing with my stomach. I just didn't even think that existed. I thought that was too much to ask. You know what I mean? I was like, no fucking way am I going to find a gluten-free, alcohol-free beer that just it doesn't exist. It's not a thing. But it does, and it's fucking good, actually. So
yeah, it's good. It's refreshing, huh?
Yes, it tastes just like a regular beer. I was like, this is amazing. I'm definitely going to be buying more of these.
Yeah, I got a big pack of those. I have those. Yeah. Oh, I should grab one.
You should.
That's awesome.
What are you drinking?
I don't know why I did that, but I was sitting here and I created a letterboxd count for our Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, and I got lost in it all and realized, oh shit, we're supposed to be recording. So I just grabbed this. I'm drinking a fizz stick. Those of you who don't know Arbonne, they have these fizz sticks that are freaking so good. They have vitamins, and I am drinking a tart cherry one. You just mix it with water. The things I love about those is they give you energy, but not like so many other things where it makes you feel weird. Because I know Tawny drinks them too. It's literally like I'm tired, and then all of a sudden I go, oh, I'm not tired anymore. But it's not like a weird feeling.
It's not jittery. I almost was going to drink another one actually today. And as soon as we got on, Felicia was like, you seem like you're a little low energy. It's just because I'm tired. And I actually thought today, because I drink one a day. That's it. I'm down to one. Mm-hmm. This is the only caffeine I have is one fizz stick per day. Because there's some, it's not a ton. But I was like, maybe I should do another half or something for the podcast, but I forgot.
Maybe I should do a half a line of this fizz stick. Yeah, I love them. I only have one a day. I think today I had two because it was so good. And I just wanted to drink something. So anyways, my whole story was I was already drinking that and I grabbed it and ran in here. So I was not prepared.
That's fair.
Good, guys.
You can go get one of these non-alcoholic beers in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll take a break and I'll get one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what notable thing have you been watching, reading, listening to, or playing? I'm going to add a category here.
You're right that the only thing I've been doing is playing Elden Ring. And it came out on Thursday, I think, actually. I think it was supposed to come out on Friday, but we were able to download it on the computer, at least on Thursday. We got it yesterday on Friday. And so that is all I've been playing. But it sucks because there's this situation happening. We're playing on Xbox. We were going to play on PC, but Jade and I can't play together. So now we're going to play on Xbox. This is ridiculous, you guys. But I actually we went and bought a second Xbox this morning, used off of someone so that we can play together. And they have this situation happening where you can't play online. So we can't play together until they fix it. So that sucks. But you can still play the game offline, which isn't bad. It's just doing the online co-op gameplay is my favorite part of these games because it's in the same realm as the Dark Souls games. It's basically just Dark Souls kind of reskinned a little bit. And it is so fun to play online because people can summon you. I've told you about this, Felicia, but I'm going to say it again.
Yeah, do it.
For anybody who hasn't heard about it. But you can summon people into your world and they will help you like fight things and bosses. And you can go into other people's worlds and fight stuff with them. It's just so fun. It's like my favorite part of the experience. And then you can write little messages on the ground that people can see. So you can like, if you find a secret hidden thing, you can like put a message in front of it to let people know. And there's just something about like the online Dark Souls community that is so cool and fun. And it just has its own culture around it, And so I've been playing Dark Souls games now for several years, and I've just been like super excited for Elden Ring to come out because it's the newest one and it's so good. Everybody's giving it like 10 out of 10 stars, all the reviewer sites and stuff. And it's really great so far. I've played about 8 hours total of it, and it's real great. Very fun. That's all I'm going to be doing for the next 3 to 6 months. So you can forget about shows, movies, podcasts, sleep. I'm just going to be playing Elden Ring.
I was worried. I asked her, about how she was doing, because when she logged in, I was like, I hope that she doesn't hate me because I'm taking her away from the game. But no, she was just feeling sleepy because she was playing it so much.
Right. Yeah. Need to catch up on some sleep.
I have to be honest. When you slacked me, because Tawny's like working on some things and excited about some things. And so she was talking to me about that on Slack. And then she goes, now just give me the Elden Ring. And I thought you meant like, thought you're making a reference to like the Lord of the Rings ring. And you were like looking for, meaning it like you wanted some confirmation or something now, like just give it to me. And then you started talking about your games, and I'm like, oh shit, that's what she was talking about. And she wants to play the game.
Yes.
Very
I was
cool.
like, I think I said like, now it's time for fucking Elden Ring.
Yes. And I wasn't sure what you meant. I thought you were saying like, now's the time to like, I don't know, like seize the moment and get your Lord of the Rings ring. Anybody who plays this game, please don't hate me. I just never played it. I don't know. Like this bitch, Lord of the Rings.
Good for you.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. What have you been watching and listening to?
So, I've been in the same but different boat. I have been massively addicted to Yellowstone. So our day will end at 5. Me and Steve will meet in the living room. And
you guys meet?
Literally, we watch it from 5 to 11 o'clock midnight.
Wow. How many seasons are there?
3. So we're in season 2 right now. And we're the worst parents right now because we get TT what she needs, but she does a lot of coloring and playing video games and stuff while we watch the show. We will and Steve never does this. And he now is always suggesting it. We'll get food or make food and just eat it at the coffee table. So we can watch the show. Yeah, we're addicted to Yellowstone.
It's fun to have a show like that, though. Like, that you're so excited to watch. Yeah.
I think it's fun, even like your game or a TV series or anything or a book where you're so addicted, like you cannot wait to watch it, read it, play it again, and then are looking forward to it. And you're like giddy to do it. Yeah. That's a cool feeling.
It is. And I think we get so like bogged down with, life responsibilities that it's nice to do this every once in a while. Like, for me, I don't really play games that often, like it's only when one of these get released. And I know I'm not like a replayer. I don't go back and replay through. I don't even do like DLCs when you can like add them on there, even if they're really good. I have like a very specific moment in time. It's the beginning stage of the game. And I just want to do that for like 3 to 6 months. And that's it. I'm done. And so it's great to like fall into those holes and just be like, I'm so excited for this, like for that amount of time,
Yeah. I like it.
It's like being a kid again.
And we got to do that. We're always doing stuff we have to do. And even some of the stuff we want to do, it's more like we have to do. Like, I want to clean this. I like the way it feels when this room is clean, but you kind of have to do it. Just purely like no benefit except joy.
Just the fun. Just the fun of it.
Just the fun. That's it.
That's cool. Yellowstone has been on my list for a little while. I keep hearing about it. It seems it doesn't actually seem like the aesthetic and all that would be up my alley, but I think based on the amount of people who are really liking it, I probably would like it. I just haven't had the time to start it.
I was exactly the same. The first 2 episodes, Steve really wanted to see it. And I know a whole bunch of people I know and we know are saying that it's a great, like amazing. And so the first 2 episodes, it's just like the cowboy. I don't know. I wasn't like, oh yeah, sign me up. But I wanted to support my husband. He's always supporting me.
Right.
And so, and he was actually watching it. Usually like he's on his phone and halfway watching something. So we're watching it. And then by the 3rd episode though, I was like, yeah, let's watch another one. Last night, like my cheeks and my chest was all red and hot because I was so mad with what was going on. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like all riled up and I go through all these emotions. This is why I can't watch things like this. All right. I'm so upset right now. And I'm in it now.
Yeah.
Where at first I didn't know. And I also wanted to shout out, not that he needs shouting out, but my beautiful friend Candela, her husband is in it. Tokala. He's a character in it, and he is also in, I guess there's some spin-offs, 1883, I believe it is called. And he is in that as well. And, but really cool. I didn't
That's
know
awesome.
I didn't know he was in it. And I was watching, you know what I should say.
Were you like, did you see him? And you were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it was amazing. So his name, Tokala Black Elk Clifford. And yes, it was the spinoff 1883 and Yellowstone. And in Yellowstone, he plays Sam Stands Alone. And then in the Yellowstone origin story, he plays a Lakota warrior. And he was also in Wind River. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was really cool. But so
I think I did.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the No. I'm thinking of a different thing.
Wind River has that Jeremy Renner in it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I knew that because, you know, I follow them both, and his wife is a friend of mine. So she's always posting and sharing. I didn't realize that he was in this. So I was sitting here watching it and I'm like, oh my gosh, pause it. Wait a second. That's Tokala. Look. My husband was like, what? And then we looked it up and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. So you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Go. All right. So we are talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. You watch it on Netflix. It was released on Netflix this month, or sorry, when you hear this, it'll be the next month, but in February.
Yeah.
The director was David Blue Garcia, and he also directed Tejano, Bloodfest, and The Bystander Theory. I haven't seen any of those, so not sure.
Me either.
But he won some awards, so those must be good. I just haven't seen them. The budget is really wonky. The budget that was listed was $80,000 to $140,000. It's like less than buying a house.
Yeah, what?
That's what was listed as the budget. But the box office was 30.9 million. So there's no way that's the budget, but I couldn't find.
No way.
I couldn't find. That's what it was listed.
Huh. Very weird.
And I, of course, didn't spend a whole lot of time like digging far into it. But yeah, if they meant to put a lot more zeros there. behind these. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 31%. IMDb gave it 4.9 out of 10. And Letterboxd gave it 2.1 out of 5. The cast is Mark Burnham as Leatherface, Sarah Yarnkint as Melody, Elsie Fisher as Lila. So those two are the sisters. Jacob Lattimore as Dante Spivey. Mo Dunford as Richter, the guy with the gun. And then Jacob was the one he was the chef. And then Nell Hudson as Ruth, which was his fiancée, I believe. And Olwen Fiore or Führer or Führer as Sally Hardesty.
Okay.
All right. So now on to 2 minutes with Tawny.
Do you know, because Fede Álvarez is like tied to this movie, and I guess I just assumed that he was the director, but maybe he was the producer, executive producer, or a producer on it or something.
Story by and produced by.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So we'll do 2 minutes with Tawny. It's pretty short. 50 years after Leatherface's massacre in 1973, Dante and Melody buy the ghost town of Harlow, Texas. They intend to sell off parts of the town to bring in other young buyers to create a hip little commune. While trying to prep the town for a busload of investors, an older woman named Ginny has a heart attack because of being forced out of her home, which also has functioned as an orphanage for several years. A large man who's living in this house with her accompanies them on the way to the hospital. When Ginny flatlines in the truck, the man kills the police officers and skins Ginny's face, which he puts on Leatherface, obviously. He's back. From here, basically all the kids the people in this town get brutally slaughtered by Leatherface. Lila, Melody's sister, is a school shooting survivor who is terrified of guns, but has to pick one up in order to defend her and her sister. At some point, Sally Hardesty, the lone survivor from 1973, catches wind that Leatherface is back and sets out to kill him. She meets up with Lila and Melody and dies pretty instantly. Lila and Melody take Leatherface down and begin to drive out of town the next morning when Leatherface rips Melody from her seat and decapitates her with the chainsaw, and Lila is driven away in her self-driving car. The end.
That's it. That's
That
about what
covers
happened.
it. Yep.
That about covers it. Tawny, what'd you think?
Well, I was very, I don't know. I was very, like, I guess, neutral. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. It wasn't anything to write home about, except for the violent parts were cool. Like, the gore and the violence was cool. There's a couple other things that I liked about it, but it felt very, like, just run of the mill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I went in with like low or no expectations. So I wasn't, I'm not like a huge fan of this franchise. I actually haven't even seen the original, I don't think. And I was going to try to watch it for this, but I just didn't get a chance to. So I'm like, that's how I feel about it. How about you?
So this was an interesting experience because I did watch it twice. And the first time I watched it, I was big, and I didn't like it. Like, I thought it started off good. Like, I'm not not epic, but it started off good. I liked what I was seeing. And then it just fucking plummeted so much that I had a side chat with some friends just reaming this movie. Like, I was like, and this and that. And we were all just like, and this and that. Blah, blah, blah. It was like, it's just, ugh. And then the more, that I talked about it, the more fuel I was just like, yeah. But then Josh from Horror Movie Crew Pod, he was like, oh my gosh, he even created a post about it. Watch it a second time and wear headphones and be drunk and wear a blindfold. I'm just kidding. But I was like, okay, you know what? I have time. I'll watch it again. And I have to say, the second watch, I enjoyed it more. Still agree. It's nothing to write home about, but I did enjoy it more the second time than I did the first time. I also watched the original, and since you haven't, we're not talking about it, I'm not even going to bring it up. I think it'll be a very fun conversation whenever we have it, so I'll leave that. But I don't think anything, there was like little bits, like the armadillo in the beginning, that it ties back to the original, but I don't think you needed to see the original. I think they recap it real good in the beginning. You should see the original if you want to see it. I'm just saying, in order to see this movie, you definitely don't.
You don't have to. No. I did like that. That was actually my first note, was that I did love the intro of the tape playing in the convenience store to give you like the background of it. I thought that was really clever. I liked it, but it's like in the context of this town where they're like selling merch related to it. I don't know. I liked that part a lot. And you're right. For me, it did start really strong and then it just sort of like fucking spiraled out. It's like, okay, what is happening?
I liked that convenience thing too. I liked how they were playing that recording because it felt like so many things I watched, like true crime. So it added this element like, oh, it really did happen. I loved how they did that as well.
Yeah, that was well done.
All right. I have some notes that we'll talk about as we go through, but the notes that I took, I didn't have that many, but I can say I liked let's just start at the beginning. And we liked how the beginning started. Not like just the beginning convenience store, but I liked, I liked the characters. I liked how, the young girl Melody was all judgmental of the guy with the gun. And I'm like, gosh, I hate when either way, one type of group or one group of people come in and start judging the shit out of everybody else. And it could go either way. Right. So, we've seen in other movies where it's more of like, farmer cowboy type, going into a setting where it's more young and fresh and hipster and judging the crap out of them, just like this whole thing. But it just pissed me off. You're in their town. People walk around with guns. Here in Arizona, it was such a trip. I was at Panda Express and this guy had a gun. And at first I went, oh my God, we got to get out of here. But then I just realized like people walk around with that out here in Arizona. Yeah. But then it really developed nicely where you understand why, because what her sister went through and just kind of being protective. And I do want to say, I liked Melody's character, how she came off at first kind of like a judgmental snot, in my opinion, but very rapidly you could tell that she is caring and, cares very much and wants the best for everybody. So I liked that growth there.
I agree. I liked the characters and I thought that, they're maybe a little like two-dimensional slightly, but like you're saying, we have watched another movie that this reminded me of, which was Wrong Turn 2021.
Yes.
But I think this movie did a much more subtle job of like, here are the people who are on two sides of whatever fence, right? And they are like being judgmental about each other.
Yep.
But they're both like layered and complex people who, like
they're good people. Even the guy with the gun, right? He was kind of like a hard ass, but he was a good guy underneath. Yeah. Like they're just different worlds.
Yeah. And I felt like that was really portrayed well. That didn't feel really like ham-fisted, which I did feel that way about Wrong Turn. It was like a little just too, okay, we get it.
It was like conversation after conversation after conversation, Wrong Turn. Like, we get it.
Yes, we're here. We see it. Yeah. This was like, I do think they did that well. I liked that.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that gel into anything later in the movie where it's like trying to make a point about anything? Not really. That's kind of where I think the benefit ends. It's just like, okay, this is a great setup. It just felt like they made the movie and then like some shit happened and they had to just lop off the back end and shoot a new ending. And like none of it matched with what they were setting up in the beginning. I don't know. It definitely was clunky. But I didn't hate it. I just was like, all right. But I liked the characters and I liked this, storyline of her being a survivor of a school shooting and the reason why she would be afraid of guns and having to then pick up that thing that has caused you so much trauma to be able to survive. I liked all of that. It's just that it does not feel to me like there's really any payoff.
Yeah, there was a lot of moments like that, right? Where, so for example, the cops, right? At first you think the cops they're obviously judging them because they're young out of towners. Are they going to be judging them also because of their race? Are they, that they're intimidating in the beginning? And then Melody says, that little saying, my grandma's from around here. And she says the little flower thing. I don't remember what she says. And he's like, okay. And so then you can see they're just really protective of their town and, people coming in and screwing around with it they're protective of it. And so they're like, okay, that's nice. But then that's like it. Like,
right.
I mean, I don't know if there needs to be more, but you're right. Nothing else. It's not like Leatherface wants to kill them because they're out of towners. It's because of what happened, to the woman that took care of him so I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I did like, so, they come and at first they're walking around the town and I'm like, I'm having massive Wrong Turn vibes in the sense of these fucking kids that are like 20 buy this town. Like what the hell is happening? And then like, Felicia, you know what? There was some 20 something kid that made an NFT. That's a millionaire. It happens. Just suspend your beliefs. But it was just this when they're walking through the town and then his fiance goes, oh my gosh. And this is perfect for my art gallery. And I'm just like, this is fucking ridiculous. And I'm like, it's okay. One of these kids is super rich. Maybe the parents, they have a trust fund. I don't know.
I got the impression that it was not expensive. Like they bought it for fucking cheap because it's this fucking nothing town out in the middle of nowhere. So they don't even have to be rich to.
Well, what's cheap though? We're talking about, with the salary, just what do they do? He's a chef. Okay. So maybe he's like a Michelin chef because still it's not like they're going to buy it for $50,000 out there. But then whatever. It doesn't matter.
I mean, even you buy it for like 200,000. That's like within reason for like somebody making $50,000-$60,000 a year, like as long as your credit was good, right? Like I know we're splitting hairs a little bit, but I don't know. I just assumed that it was like, they got it for cheap, Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of wonky, but I was letting it go, like whatever. And then they were auctioning it off and stuff. Where was I going with this? My first note I have here is I did really, the first moment where I was like, oh, this is really cool was that sunflower scene. Like that whole thing with him when his mom was put into the truck and he broke that dude's arm and then stabbed him in the neck with the arm. And then it fucking goes out into the sunflower, smashes and that whole thing. And there's this whole sequence of events. I'm like, oh shit, that happened. Like, boom, here we are. We're in it. And I really like that. And I like the aesthetic too. Like I like the sound, of him cutting off the face and in the sunflowers. I just like that whole thing.
I did too. It felt very, again, I haven't seen the original, but I've seen obviously scenes and shots and stuff from it. So like, that's what I'm referencing when I say this, but it feels like a little bit more that way. Cause it's like this sunny, hot as fuck, Texas, middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like just you're in fields. I think that's why I liked it too. Cause it felt like that. And it was so violent and fast. All of that part was great for me too.
Yeah. The violence. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say the violence was great. That they had that going, unflinching, sledgehammer to the head, over and over and over, and you're just like watching it. It was insane.
Yes, but in this scene, the one part that I was like, I liked her. What's her name? Like Ruth, I think.
Yeah,
the
Ruth,
fiance who rides in the van with them. She like pretends to be dead, which I was like, yeah, love that. You just don't draw attention to yourself until she like unbuckled her seatbelt, and I'm like. You think you're going to get out of this car and run away from this fucking... No way. No. Just keep pretending like you're dead and stay there for fucking 4 hours until you're sure he's gone. Okay? Then you can get up, get out of the car, run away. Something.
I definitely thought that too. Just keep pretending you're dead. Exactly. You're just going to run into the fields and go where? Like what?
Right.
How long are you going to keep running? Him just running after you, I guess, until you find the town or something. And then I thought maybe a possibility of her trying to get out and get lost within the sunflowers is she doesn't know if he's going to cut everybody's faces off.
That's true. That's a good point.
But how is she quietly? There's most definitely, after what just happened, he's not gone. Like,
No.
he's still there. he's still in the area.
It's been 30 seconds since he walked away from that window. Don't fucking do this.
This is not the time.
No.
This is not the time.
Give it a few fucking minutes at least, you know?
I liked, which I think is one of the pictures or one of the movie poster pictures of, it's just all sunflowers and then he kind of emerges from the sunflowers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I liked that too, but watching in the movie, it was a little funny, you know? Like it felt it felt a little comedic. I was like,
Here I am.
okay. It's like, what up? You know? It's like, okay. You know what I will say about his mask though? I liked the look a lot because it reminded me of Harold from the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books.
Oh yeah,
The Scarecrow.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. He looked just like him.
Yeah. So I liked that, but it is like, I mean, were they going for that? Because he looks pretty exactly like him. The face, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't see anything about that. But yeah, I liked the mask too. And the whole time I kept saying, so last night when I rewatched it, my oldest came down to visit us from college and she watched it with me, which I was surprised. And I was grossing her out. And I'm like, all I can think about is how slimy and like squishy it feels against his face, especially in that end scene where he's actually in the water wearing that bloody skin. She's like, shut up, Mom. It's disgusting. I did like when Ruth died and that moment where a tear rolled down her face.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
And then, yeah, he kind of covered her face with the hair. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. That her death was brutal too. Just the slice open of the gut. Ugh.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Terrifying and great.
And then you just hang on from there. And then you're on for a ride.
Yeah.
Just blood, 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 blood.
Yeah.
You had mentioned about the movie and the production of the movie. And it was something specific that you wanted me to take a look at. And so the notes I have here on that was that it was initially stated for theatrical release sometime in 2021, but all plans were scrapped due to a string of disastrous test screenings. And then it was sold to Netflix. And so, yeah, they had disastrous test screenings and it was sold to Netflix on August 24th, 2020. The initial directors, which was brothers Ryan Tohill and Andy Tohill, split from the project during the film's first week of production. The duo was replaced by David Blue Garcia, who scrapped and reshot the previous footage. So started over. You had said
like
something.
Everything was.
Yeah, scrapped it and started again. Because you had mentioned something about like was pieces put together or
yeah, it feels like they started with an idea and then the back part of the movie is like it feels like they reshot. That was going to be my guess, is that because I remembered hearing something about the, you know, just development of the movie problems or something and how Netflix eventually picked it up. And so it made me feel like they had shot the whole movie and then went back and like reshot the back half and tried to just like shoehorn it in a little bit. Cause there's like a lot of continuity things that are weird to me that I'm like, it feels like they definitely Frankensteined this together. But that's interesting. They reshot all of it.
Yeah, that's what he said. They scrapped it and then reshot.
Do you have any information on why test screens were bad or like what it was to begin with?
So I have initially during the development of Leatherface, the producers had the film rights and intention to make 5 more Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. And in April 2015, producer Krista Campbell stated that the fate of the potential sequels would largely depend on the reception of Leatherface. So by December 2017, Lionsgate and Millennial Films had lost the film rights due to the amount of time it took to release Leatherface. And so then in 2018, it was reported that Legendary Pictures had entered preliminary negotiations to purchase the film rights of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with the studio intending to adapt television and film installments. I do know that there was some creative disagreements is what it said. Creative disagreements is why the original directors left and David Blue Garcia was put in.
Stepped in.
Yeah. Creative disagreements.
Weird. I'm sure it's like, they keep this shit under wraps and everybody's on, signed NDAs and stuff. But like, I want to know the details. I want to know what the first movie was. Why did it do so bad? And, what happened next? Like, it just seems weird.
I can tell you nothing more about that.
Okay.
One thing, and let's talk about her. I feel that this was absolutely not needed, and the most ridiculous part of the movie was Sally's character. Sorry, Sally, but most definitely. And you know that I didn't know this. That isn't the original actress who played Sally.
Okay.
The original actress passed away. I think it was in 2015 from a heart attack. So this was a new actress, but why? I just have no idea. And just everything within the writing as well. She was not helpful. I guess she gave them a shotgun, but guess what? The guy whose workshop they were in had a ton of guns. So they could have just gotten a shotgun from there. It was, to me, so stupid that, I get why, in the sense she is one that got away. So like, where is she now? Whatever happened to her? I get it, but I just don't think it was enough. Then she drives there. She keeps those girls locked in the truck. This was one piece, even on the second watch, it still didn't make sense to me. She's like, no, you're what he wants. So she's making it sound like, oh, you girls are going to be the bait so I can bring him to me. But then she fucking leaves and goes. So they're not even bait. Then she goes, and this whole scene really made me not brought my score down. Just the scene of her standing there. You would shoot him in the back. You would shoot. Maybe you want him to look at you because maybe you're not sure it's him. I don't know. Okay. So he looks at you, say my name. Remember, say my name. And this was so fucking stupid. And then he gets up and he walks past her. And then what does she do? She's like no help. It was so stupid. I'm tired of her looking at that picture and then the background of them laughing in the truck. Again, the picture. And then I'll shut up. He jams a chainsaw through her, goes up and down, picks her up and down. Dude, she has no internal organs whatsoever, but happens to live another 30 fucking minutes. So stupid. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. She did. There's no way. And you know what? I will say at least she shot him a couple times. Aside from that, you're right. No help. Didn't do anything. And then it just begs the question, like, why would you bring this character back in this movie if nothing fucking happens and she just dies? Like, there is no payoff at all. And it's not even like she had to survive. That's not what I'm saying. But like, something needed to happen that was like more impactful than what happened. It was just like,
yes.
Why do this? Although I wonder if the one thing that I will say that I walked away from this movie, for some reason, I walked away feeling like the movie itself was very cynical. And that's like the only thing that I could then get on board with is like, if you're actually kind of trying to make a statement about the fact that, because, I've seen other people say too that this was modeled after the success of Halloween 2018, bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back and where's she been all this time, blah, blah, blah. So the only way that I feel like I can get on board with this is if you are, in fact, trying to like poke fun at that and say like, that's fucking ridiculous. This person would just die. And then, okay, but I don't know that if that was the intent, you know what I mean? But I do feel like this movie does kind of take a cynical viewpoint. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay. I didn't write the notes, but I didn't write it down as a note, but I did read something that they were, it was just an idea to bring her back because, she was the one that escaped and bring her back into the story because none of the other movies did it.
Oh, okay.
So none of the other Texas. Yeah.
Shallow.
So
I mean,
I don't know if it was so clever as that.
Yeah. Maybe giving it more credit than it was. But I agree. It was really annoying. It was like, okay, you're going to sit around and wait for this person. And when the time finally comes for you to go and like exact your revenge, you're not going to shoot this motherfucker. And then on top of that, you can't aim or shoot for shit. Like, you don't
40
like,
years.
It's like, okay,
right? It's like 40 years later or something.
Yeah, 50
years later. What have you been waiting? What have you been doing in preparation?
I mean, I guess she's just slaughtering hogs. I don't know.
Slaughtering hogs. You're so badass because you're covered in blood and you're elbow deep into a hog.
Like, but it felt like she was
learn how to shoot.
Right, something. Yeah, I assumed she went out there with that gun. I was like, she's gonna get his ass. No,
and then as a viewer, she was running down the street. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I do. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
What were you gonna say as a viewer?
As a viewer, it's just like obnoxious because you want to watch somebody like do something. You want to watch somebody, do some damage, or at least if they can't do the damage, it makes sense in the context of what you've already set up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, fuck. It was bad.
She wants to do her friends justice. Like, she's been freaking staring at that picture forever. And she literally did nothing to prepare. Except what? She's desensitized because I don't know what the point of it was. Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah.
And then that guy is counting on it, right? The guy in the convenience store. Hey,
yeah.
He's here. So he's like teamed up. If you hear anything, and he's like, yeah, if I hear anything, right? And I've heard something. He's here. Okay, let me just go and do nothing. Let me just go and get killed.
Yeah. Dumb.
Yeah, but all the kills I really liked. Oh my God, when he broke that guy, the gun guy, I just don't remember his name.
Oh yeah,
his leg backwards. Or when he sliced that one boy's face, that one man's face, and so that was really good. How about the bus? I hear a lot of people talking about the bus scene.
Oh yeah, I know that people seem to like this bus scene. I didn't hate it, but I was like, I tuned out a little bit. Like, it was just repetitive. It was like, okay, chainsawing people, just hacking them up, hacking off arms, limbs, cutting people in half, And so I just like ended up tuning out, I think, while I was watching this, because I was just like, eh. But I felt like this scene specifically kind of had a sense of humor that the rest of the movie didn't have. And again, this is why, like, it feels like shit was shot way after the fact and tried to be like shoehorned in, because this part, I don't hate it. I can get on board with this, like, insane gore. And it's like kind of stupid and funny with the guy being like, try anything, you're canceled, bro. And everybody has their phones up. And it's like, I think this is also why I feel like the movie has like a cynical viewpoint, is this scene here. But it's like, but there is the kind of this levity, like, it's fun. It's just for the like fun of it, for hacking up people in a bus, right? So I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. Like, other people are saying like it was their favorite part, and I was just like, get out of the window, go through the door, do something. Everybody's just like hitting on the walls. It's like, okay. It ended up making me like the girl that they show for 2 seconds who's just sitting in the corner screaming. I was like, that would be me. Because what else? If you can't get out and there's not like a back door or whatever, and you can't get past the guy with the chainsaw, you don't stand a chance. Stop standing around just hitting the windows.
There's a note that one of the comments on the live videos, how you can see the comments when they're dropping their phones, was from David Blue Garcia, who's the film director.
Oh,
I didn't notice it, but they said that. I thought that was funny. So why, if they are putting those types of dark humor elements throughout it, I didn't find them, or they weren't consistent enough, or you know what I mean, or done well enough if they are in there. And I think that would have been a fun way to go with it, because I did like that too. I thought this when he's like, we're going to cancel you, like, you prick.
Yeah,
it's like people think like that is the worst thing nowadays, right? And he just chainsawed him up. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite scene. I mean, it was fine. you know,
Yeah.
when he cut that girl in half when she was out of the window, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was thinking like, God, what would you do? Like, how would you,
Yeah.
you know, especially if everyone is hogging up the windows, just pounding on them. Like, you're like,
Right.
how the fuck do you get out? But yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, but I would do something. I feel like I would try something else.
I feel like maybe I would try to run out while he was busy with other
Someone
people.
else.
You know, and then when they went into the bathroom, that was great. Then why are you fucking sitting there?
Yeah, go.
Like, I know you didn't realize the window was there, but all I had to do was look up. So maybe like you're in there and you're looking around and then fucking getting out of there while that chainsaw's going.
Yeah,
he's not going to hear
fast.
you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, agree.
Oh
totally.
my God. How about when she gets in the car and she goes to run him over, then screams at the last minute and kind of nicks him and then trashes the car. My daughter was like, if that was my fucking sister, I'd be so pissed off. I would be so pissed off that she crashed the car.
This one, I mean, I definitely am like, it's frustrating. But this one, if I was driving at somebody and they threw a chainsaw at the car and I thought as I was watching this, I was like, that chainsaw is going through that windshield and she's going to die right now in this moment. Like she's going to get that chainsaw to the face and she's going to die. I would definitely swerve to avoid hitting the chainsaw just for my own, you know, self-preservation instincts. But then it is like, okay, nobody can get anything done in this movie. It's like everybody's like missing shots, running into buildings. It's very frustrating. And this happened in Halloween Kills. I wouldn't say I reached the same level of frustration watching this movie. But you're just like, come on, somebody do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think they needed to find maybe different ways of adding that like suspense. Like it's not done yet. We're not out of the woods yet versus everyone just bucking up or doing stupid things like not shooting with Sally or, okay, the one girl, she went to shoot the gun and it didn't work, which, okay, it was frustrating, but I also get it because you can't just pick up a gun and shoot it oftentimes,
right, yeah,
you know, and
if
you don't know how, what do you
don't have time to troubleshoot. You don't, you're like, fuck
this gun, if you've never used a gun, you don't know this one has to be cocked this way or this one has a safety or like, you don't even know. Yeah. So I get that. But it was just like one thing after another.
It was too many fucking things. I will say, as we're talking about this, it reminded me, I liked the moment where Sally, you know, tries to shoot him and he grabs the gun and she pulls out a knife and jabs him in the gut. Liked that. That was great. I was like,
that was great.
Way to have a plan B, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was good. You're right.
There's just one point of,
I'm also glad she realized how stupid her bait idea was and she threw the keys into the girls.
Yeah.
That was good. And it was like everyone would go in to like do something and they were like zero match. Like the guy, Richter, he starts going in. You're like, oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah, he's going to get him.
And how he's going in, right? Real strategic and like, and he's like, oh, you could tell he's like really on it. Nah.
Nope. Yeah. And it's frustrating. I mean, at least he was able to grapple with him a little bit. Like, I do think he posed the biggest, threat to Leatherface over the rest of the kid because the other people are like, they're young adults. Like, they don't know. Yeah. They're not trained in combat.
They're not going in to go to war.
They don't know how to shoot guns. Like, I get it. That's fine. I can write all that off. But it is like, you know, you get this competency from Sally and Richter and they just get slaughtered, which I don't really hate. It was like, it sucks to watch as a viewer, but I kind of ended up not hating this movie because it is a bloodbath. And it just reminded me of like, even though I do think the movie like tried to work in a little bit of a message and stuff, like, I don't think that pans out. And then this ends up feeling to me, again, despite their efforts, like it's just a pure slash, like hack and slash, people getting fucking mowed over type of movie. And I'm like, I could be here for that. You know, like, I feel like there have been so many movies lately that are a little bit more on the, like, they're trying to be more pointed. They're trying to tell you something, you know, that I felt like I was like in a space where I was ready for something that was like a little less content wise. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, watch this guy fucking chainsaw some people. Like, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did actually, now that you mention it, there were some pieces like when Richter, I believe is his name. He goes, "What are you guys, cult?" And they're like, "No, we're idealists that want to start a better." He's like, "Yeah, you're a cult." There were some cute moments that made me giggle. I liked it. My oldest and I were like, the worst is that you're covered in sewage and crap. Like when he cut that pipe, that's all we could focus on.
I know, it was gross.
Diarrhea poop was all over that girl. I would be oh, jeez.
It was gross. I don't like that kind of stuff. It's just like, it's disgusting for the sake of disgust. And I just was like, okay, we didn't need it.
Those final scenes when they are fighting him. So the first time around, this was something I remember specifically. The first time around, I was really irritated that they couldn't handle a gun, but all of the sudden know how to wield a chainsaw. So the first time I saw it, that really irritated me. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. They are completely incapable with every other thing they're doing, but here she knows how to pick up, start. I was trying to remember. I thought it had stopped, but maybe it was still going. But she knows, guaranteed these kids have never used a chainsaw before. Well, I've never used a chainsaw. Like, I don't like, and you have to start it and use it and she can wield it. But the second time around, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate that whole sequence. What I did hate though was he falls into the water. They drop their weapons and stand there and hug forever.
Yeah, I know. And even after that, they're like, he's dead. They're like, we're done.
I literally was telling my daughter, they're getting the car, and when they sit down in the car and just their actions, I was like, whew, that was a rough day, man. They were just like, dude, let's open the rooftop window.
Ooh,
that was a fucking hard day. Are you kidding me? You'd be like, holy fucking shit, we got to get out of here. Like you would, even if you were tired, you'd be like, let's get out of here. Not like, oh man. And then she makes a joke. All right, sis, I'll move here with you.
Maybe
Are you
I will.
kidding me? Stop. You are not laughing. You have had, at the very least, you may be relieved that you think it's over. Your friends have died. Everybody has died.
Yeah.
Whew, that was a hard day.
I could really use a drink right now. What about you? You want to stop somewhere on our way home?
Yes.
What?
I can't say I screamed or like I was jolted when he ripped her out of the car. Like I didn't, it was just so quick. And then boom, another unflinching head off. You watch the whole thing. They don't cut away.
It looked good too. I actually liked the
it looks
head.
real good.
Chainsawed off decapitation scene. It was good. I saw that shit coming a mile away. I was just waiting. I was like, he's coming back. Like,
I figured he was coming back, but it just surprised me. Like, because they were so chill, and then all of a sudden, boom.
It was like, real loud. But I was like, there are moments like that are tonally weird, right? Like, and that's what I'm talking about when I that's one of the things that I think I'm mentioning when I say continuity wise, like, what? Like, you just went through a fucking awful night and you're like making jokes about living here? No fucking way. And earlier when she runs off, her sister runs off, Melody's like still, I think, impaled in the car on that thing, whatever it was, like a metal stake or whatever. And she's like screaming for her. She's like, Lila, like for a little while, she's like, Lila. And you're like, okay, she's yelling for her because she's worried about her sister, right? She can't move out of this car, whatever. But then like immediately after that, she's like, Lila, come help me. She's like being like impatient. It was like, bitch, no, that's not how you would be. You'd be terrified for you and your sister's life. So you probably wouldn't be yelling at all because you don't want to call attention to yourself. Secondly, you're not going to be like, I think you might be dead, but get the fuck over here and help me. That just does not make sense. So it's like, it feels like they just shot stuff like way out of order or way later where it was like, wait, what's happening? Wait,
when they were in the car. When they were in the car and she was like, go, run, just run. Okay, how about you shut the fuck up? Because you know he's there, dude, and he knows where you're at because your car just crashed like one building down. So maybe shut the fuck up for a minute, sneak out of that car.
Ridiculous. I have some questions for you.
Yeah, please. I hope I know because I'm going to be honest. I was like, oh shit, and I didn't do as well of a job researching as I should have. I'm
No, I
sorry,
think
audience.
it's cool. You either might know because you watched the original, or there's no tie-in and there's no answer. So I think those are going to be our two options. Number one, why is the chainsaw in the wall?
Oh yeah, they didn't have that in the original.
No, but like, yeah, and why?
Yeah, what I thought, but I don't know for sure. What I thought is she knew who he was and she thought she could help him. And so I don't know why she wouldn't just get rid of it, but that she hid it in there and he must have knew it was in there. Why you wouldn't just get rid of it, I don't know, but that's what I had thought, that she had hid it there. He knew it was hidden in there. And she was like hiding evidence that he was the Leatherface.
Yeah, good question. Why wouldn't you just get rid of it? I mean, yeah, it's like the amount of fucking effort it would take to tear down a wall in your house, to put a chainsaw in there, just to fucking put the wall back up, paint over it, make sure it looks the same. What? That makes no fucking sense. When you could just drive out into the middle of the desert, dig a hole, drop the chainsaw in the hole, like bury it. That's it. That's all you need to do. Yeah. So I was like, and again, I think there were like these moments where they went to make this movie and they're like, I have a really great idea. What if there's this scene where he's busting open the wall and he grabs a chainsaw? Like, it visually looks kind of cool, but like, does it make sense? You know, and I feel the same way about the water scene at the end. Is like, they're like, no, check this out. We have this great set idea. It's going to be like dark. There's a hole in the ground, but it's like a pond. We have this one streak of light coming in. It's going to look great. And the last scene of the movie is him getting hit with this chainsaw and falling into the water and slowly falling down. It's like, that sounds great in theory, but then you put it in this movie and you're like, what? Why is this? What is this even open hole? I don't like, none of this makes any fucking sense. And why? There's just no reason. There's no other than like, it looks kind of cool, you know?
That you absolutely, your eyes drop. My daughter even said, as soon as they walked in, well, that's a big random hole of water. Like, what is that? So I was looking around the second time around, and I was looking around the picture the second time I watched it. And I was like, is this like a pool, an old pool? Is this like a rec center or something? Like, what is that pond there? And what's going on? Yeah, you're absolutely right. First time I watched it, I was like, why? What? I thought of you when you were talking about Seven and you said, I don't know where I'm at. In the city. I felt that, like, where are we right now in this giant place with a pond in the middle of this building? Like, where are we?
It's so weird. It feels like you're in this like shut down high school with a pool that they boarded up over the top but didn't bother to drain the pool, and there's like a hole in the boards. Like, I don't know, it just makes zero sense. You're like, okay, why? I mean, it rained, but it didn't rain that much. Like, I don't think that this could have been filled by that rainwater. Anyway, that shit's a mess. But okay, so we have no answer for the chainsaw on the wall. Here's my secondary follow-up question. And you said it. You were like, oh, this girl, you know, Ginny lady is there to take care of him. But I was like confused because they don't really explicitly state the connection or the relationship, but you sort of get the, you know, idea that she is like a mother figure to him. Mm-hmm. And again, I haven't seen the original, and so maybe this is original spoilers, but I was like, I know that there is a family and it exists somewhere that's not here, I don't think. And like, who is this person and why?
Yeah. So no, it's not.
It just didn't seem to like connect at all.
Yeah. So I won't spoil anything for the original, but there is no indication of what happened to Leatherface's family.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So I think it's just, you assume that he somehow ended up being alone and then she took him in and now it plays that mother role for him, but nothing indicated in the original of like how he would have ended up there.
Okay.
And I haven't seen any of the other ones. So I don't know if anything happens in any of the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
That maybe was supposed to I don't know though. I thought this was supposed to be just a direct.
It was.
Like,
it was supposed to be a direct, like continuation of the story 60 years later, 50 years later, what have you. Yeah. There was one thing that my daughter asked me about when he was at the end in the street, kind of swinging the chainsaw around and almost like, she's like, why the hell is he dancing with that chainsaw? She thought he was going to throw it at the girl and kill her. Mm-hmm. But I did want to say in the original, he does that for for a long time.
Yeah, it's like iconic. Like it's like everybody knows that scene. Yeah.
And it just like starts to get uncomfortable. Where you're like, well, this is kind of getting comical here. Like, what?
I didn't like it. It was like, okay, again, we get it. We know.
How about that weird shuffle he was doing with the head as he was walking down the street?
Oh,
he was like this little. I was like, he's like, duh, duh, duh. Like, I don't even know.
I think it was supposed to show that he was hurt. He was injured. Okay. He was limping.
I thought he was dancing.
No, but I mean, that's not super far off based on the next shot.
Yeah, I thought he was taunting her. Like, you know, I didn't think he was.
No, I think he's limping. But why? We don't know. I don't think he actually got hurt in the legs or anything. So
no, just his jaw got cut. When she cut him with that chainsaw, and he fell back, I'm like, there's no way he's dead. And then I'm like, she just nicked him in the chin. And then I stopped and went, well, I mean, nicked him in the chin with the chainsaw. Right. He might be dead. That's pretty intense.
Yeah. But still, it's like.
But still, it wasn't through him. And even so, we just watched Sally completely get annihilated. Everything within her torso.
True.
Everything within her torso. And she was still able to shoot and talk and. Yeah. She didn't even have blood coming out of her mouth when she was telling that girl. Like,
that's right. You're right. We need some blood coming out of the mouth to indicate the severity of this illness. Dude, or this
her
injury.
Uterus, her intestines, her heart, gone. And her lungs.
She's a hole.
Gone.
She has a hole in her.
She's like, hey, she shot him. Here's the gun. I'm going to load the gun. Give you the gun.
I'm also going to take this moment to give you a moment, like a little bit of advice. Okay.
Yes. Hunt him down because you'll never rest.
Yeah. He'll never stop hunting you. And then she's like, okay. That's what did it.
I think the part my most hated scene was when she encounters him in the bedroom.
Yeah, it was
absolutely asinine. Yeah. It was stupid. All of it. All of that was stupid.
Yeah. Agreed.
I would accept everything else, even that chainsaw situation in the before that this scene. Yeah.
Agreed.
I was wondering why he didn't kill her.
Me too. That's the one interesting part of that scene that I felt like I was like, why?
Why didn't he kills everybody? Everybody. Like, why wouldn't he? It's so that she could then in the next scene run down the street going,
yeah. He's like, I actually almost want to get killed. Almost.
Yeah. I don't got anything else.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. I also didn't take a lot of notes.
Yeah, and the trivia I have is not anything.
Yeah, I figured there wouldn't be a lot.
Yeah,
it's so new.
Well, thanks for joining us for this episode. I'm sure Tawny will be happy because it's a short episode, so she can get quickly back to playing the Elden Ring after editing. So, Tawny, let's then move right into rating this movie.
Okay, I think I'm going to give this a 2.
Okay.
It was not great. Don't recommend. Yeah. I think that's where I landed. Same level as like 31, I think is what I gave it to. And yeah. Where'd you land?
I landed at 2.5 because I say this every time. My scores are so jacked up, dude. Some of these scores. I think I was way too nice when we first started our podcast. Like I was literally scared to rate anything too low. And looking back, a lot of these should be knocked down way more. So I have like more clear of a picture. But I was looking at some of the other ones that kind of align with it, like older slashers, but those had some nostalgia for me, but those were still like a 2.8. And then 31 was a 2, but I can say, if I'm looking at those two, because that's what I was looking at as well, I think I enjoyed this one a little more than 31. Like, you know how crazy I get about the Poughkeepsie tapes? I should have rated that a lot lower. It's a 2, but there must have been something where I was kind of like, so anyway, I didn't want to rate it the same as Poughkeepsie tapes because all I remember is really disliking that movie on an intense level. So I'm
there
rating
were some positives. What you have to keep in mind is it was super low budget. It was their first film. It had some good ideas. It just was a like right out of student film category. I think that's why you didn't give it lower, is because
okay. And that one guy, so he was an overacted theater actor, but like whatever. So I think I'll give it 2.5.
Okay,
that's what I'll give it. Yeah.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Next week we are going to watch Titan. And hopefully I said that right. How they say it in the little pronunciation thing is Titan. Done. So I am stoked to see that. I can't wait.
I'm excited too.
There's a lot about it, which but I didn't realize, except for Steve says, oh, is that one that, and I'm like, how do you know? He doesn't even like horror movies.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. He knew. He's always watching YouTube and reading the news and stuff, but I guess there's been a lot about it because he asked me, is this the one with the blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, I'm not sure. And I started the trailer and he goes, oh yeah, this is the one.
Weird. This is not like, it seems like it's not that popular of a movie. Like people don't know about it other than in like the horror spheres because it's this woman's follow-up movie after Raw. So that surprises me too. But a lot of people have been talking about it and I'm excited to just see what it's like. I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. And then everybody get ready to think about some movies that you want us to see. This month is going to be just a free for all, just your favorite movies. What movie do you want us to watch? And so look out for that post on Instagram when it comes out. Throw in your selections and then our Patreon members from those selections will pick which movie we watch at the end of the month. You can find us on Instagram at 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick, and also our website, 2chicksandahorrorflick.com. We'll send you everywhere, whether it's merch or Facebook or anywhere, even Discord. So you can access everything from both Instagram and our .com website. You can also find us. I just want to holla because now we have a Letterboxd account.
Oh,
Me and Tawny have them separately, but we have one now as a podcast. And so what we do is we track all of our scores and then we average both of our scores. So we have a big old spreadsheet that Tawny created where we do that. So I will be working on this weekend, adding all of our scores for the movies that we watched. So that'll be fun. And Tawny, what else?
You can support the show by going to our Patreon, or you can like and give us a review and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. That would be awesome and super helpful. And that's it. So we hope you guys have such a good night. No nightmares.